Nowadays, we can tell that a company impacted the world when we start to identify a specific product with the name of the brand that makes it. Think about Jacuzzi, Kleenex, Chapstick, and in this case, of the toy plastic bricks, Lego. The family-owned company has an incredible story behind its back, characterized by many unlucky events that shows how sometimes the most obvious business practices aren't always the best solution. It was 1916, and an ambitious Danish carpenter, Ole Kirk Christensen, decides to get into business and open up his own shop in a small village called Billund. After a series of tragic events like the 1929 financial crisis or the death of his wife, Christensen kept working on his business and started to sell small and cheap toys. This decision didn't pay off in the beginning, but Christensen refused to give up and renamed the company to reflect his new direction. Legot, or Play Well, became Lego. Finally, after years of failure and hard work, his toys gained the popularity that they deserved and today are still highly valuable items among collectors. After World War II, a lot of the materials used by Christensen to build his toys weren't available anymore, so he decided to buy a plastic injection molding machine, and in 1949 he created the first plastic product called automatic binding brick, the first ever Lego brick. The invention of these self-locking bricks, however, has to be attributed to Kittycraft, a British company who let Lego use their design until 1981, when Lego formally bought the rights to Kittycraft. In the 50s, Christensen's son decided to design the blocks in a way that they could all interlock and be interrelated. Thanks to this system, all the blocks that Lego produced since 1955 can interlock with any other. As it already happened in the past, another catastrophe led Lego to make an important business decision. In fact, when a fire burned up all of Lego's wooden inventory, they finally decided to stop the production of their wooden toys and focus only on plastic. The foundation and rise of Lego has been persistently marked by the use of ingenious and groundbreaking inventions. However, in 1993, sales started to slow down because of the Chinese competition and because of the advent of video and computer games, so the firm decided to expand its offering. They increased the number of parts manufactured from 6,000 to more than 12,000, which turned out to be logistically expensive, and they also added to the product's lineup electronics, amusement parks, interactive video games, and jewelry. In short, Lego followed the old and widely tested method of innovation. They hired the best managers and tried to find competition-free markets where they could dominate, but they almost still managed to go bankrupt. How is this possible? According to David Robertson, the author of Brick by Brick, How Lego Reinvented Its Innovation System and Conquered the Toy Industry, companies should never blindly follow innovation, but there should always be a critical evaluation before a strategy is applied. To put things into perspective, in 2003, Lego lost $300 million with a projected loss of $400 million for the following year. To save the company, Kirk Christensen, Ole's son, stepped down as CEO to become chairman and gave the guide of Lego to Jørgen Vig Nunstorp. Nunstorp had to recover cash in any way possible, and in the fastest way possible. The company sold a 70% stake in its successful Legoland theme parks to the Blackstone Group, closed its Danish headquarters building, and then outsourced its production to cheaper facilities in Mexico and the Czech Republic. An important change was also made in the way Lego managed their employees. Nunstorp decided to develop a performance-related pay that spread a sense of urgency and helped to speed up all the processes and operations. After all those changes, Lego was once again growing in a healthy and sustainable way, so they decided to keep this back-to-the-basics approach also for the following years. In 2007, for example, Lego partnered up with architect Adam Reed Tucker to introduce a new line of products that reproduce some of the world's most famous monuments, like the Eiffel Tower or the Statue of Liberty. In 2014, they also ventured into the movie industry with the creation of the Lego Movie, a 3D animated film that, according to the CFO Center, brought around $500 million in revenue for the company. After a dip in sales in 2017 that led to the cut of 1,400 jobs, Lego was back on track when the 2020 pandemic hit. Contrary to what happened to most of the other businesses, the pandemic has stimulated the growth of toy companies, but Lego was one that really dominated the industry with net profits 10 times greater than Hasbro, its lifelong competitor. The most incredible thing, however, is that in the case of Lego, Everything gravitates around the famous plastic bricks, while Hasbro has many different lineups of toys like Transformers, Nerf, My Little Pony, and many more. In particular, during the pandemic, they heavily invested in the Chinese market in digital products, and they also started to open own brand shops, which may sound counterintuitive, but in the end, it proved to be a winning bet. The next important step, according to LEGO's latest statements, is its transition from oil-based plastics to recycled plastics. In June of 2021, they announced that in the following 18 to 24 months, they will start to sell the first recycled bricks, and they also set the target of replacing all the bricks by 2030. The story of LEGO is certainly one of a kind. While most companies are constantly looking for blue oceans to expand their operations, in the case of LEGO, this strategy didn't pay out and almost put the firm out of business. At the end of the day, red oceans exist for a reason, and as we saw, if there's a company that can navigate there, that's LEGO.